Hey everyone, welcome in. Laura St. John here. I'm so excited to do this workshop. This is one of my signature workshops on the top 10 money blocks. If you are looking to manifest more wealth and abundance into your life, you want to get unstuck when it comes to money. I can't wait to cover these. These are some of the top 10 blocks I've noticed throughout the years of working with thousands of people all over the world, all different backgrounds, all different stories, and helping you through these blocks to the other side. If you're new to me, let me know in the chat, like where you're coming in from. If you're not new to me, say hi in the chat. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world, or if you're watching this on replay, which will be a whole lot of people because I did just pop up this workshop, like 2 back-to-back game-changing workshops on some of the most common places where people often start with my content and wanting to manifest love in relationships. I just did that one. That's now accessible to you on replay. And then now this one, how to manifest money. And a lot of these things are areas that are causing us sometimes a lot of struggle. So I like to sometimes separate things out and do specific workshops so we can roll up our sleeves. Let's do it. Get some paper and a pen and get it done. So take out a piece of paper and a pen. You're going to write down the top 10 money blocks. If you're new to me, I'm Laura St. John. I'm a celebrity mindset coach. I believe in the art of celebrating. The word celebrate means to honor yourself. And I believe that, sometimes it's difficult when you're in a challenging situation to be like, how is this still working out for me? So especially when it comes to money, because money is a really touchy subject and it can cause a lot of feelings of pain and angst and like feeling like you can't breathe or you're flip-flopping over bills at night. And I really want to help you through this. So if you're here right now, welcome. And there's no coincidences. Trust. Okay. Trust that you're exactly where you're meant to be in this moment, getting this content. And this content is near and dear to my heart. It's been something that I've been working on for many years now. My initial steps into mindset coaching started at a really young age for me when I just was raised in a household that believed in positive outcomes. I'm just, super grateful for the way I was raised by my parents to believe that no matter what your struggle is, that you have opportunities to see past them. And they really trained me on the art of imagination and seeing past challenges. And now it's something that I get to teach. It doesn't mean my life has been short of struggles or challenges, or we're not even here to compare what our challenges are with one another. It's, do you believe that in the face of them, that you have the opportunity to look past them and create change? And, there's one thing that moves that needle fast, and it's the power of your mindset to connect to an unlimited place in your heart. Okay, so it's allowing your heart to take more of that guidance in trust, and letting go a bit of how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen so you can attract more of it into your life, especially when it comes to money. Because when we're lacking it and we don't feel like enough, you start doubting everything. You doubt yourself, you doubt your judgment, you doubt whether you're making the right choices, you doubt past choices. And once you're in doubt, you're in line with lack. So I'm going to be talking right now about the top 10 money blocks. And I'm so glad people are saying, like, I believe now. If you are not new to me, I would love to hear in the chat, a shift that you've had with my mindset coaching, just a subtle, significant shift that you've made in your life. Is it just overall joy and happiness? Are you in a more relaxed state? Have you manifested a big win or a small win? And if you're brand new to me, I do a welcome and wins call right now every Monday. And I love that call because I get to hear how these tools are changing your life. I'm here for the practical. So again, if you're brand new to me, this is a workshop. I'm here for the practical step-by-step how-to approaches on how to create new results, how to align to a different set of results than what you've been getting, and how to do it faster. And in the art of mindset or manifesting, it's how do I line up to a different set of conditions than what I'm currently seeing? So I love it. Oh, That's so fun. I would love to hear what your favorite tools are. I love that you're posting that in the chat. I'm like, is it the free pass? Is it the congratulations card from your future self? Do you love my Flip It tool? If you're in my private group coaching, the 4-quadrant alignment tool, how to give yourself a mindset tune up, the day in the life tool. I need to bring that one back. I haven't done that one in a little while. The House of Manifesting tool, the Success Pie tool to feel more than enough, all of these tools. I was like listing them earlier. I'm like the Nip It, the Zip It, the 100-year-old self card, the day in the life, the trust bucket, OMG, right? The trust bucket. So I love hearing, how my stuff, which is my content, tools, techniques, strategies, and then the community in and of itself, you all working together to make things happen and be such a great anchor of support for one another. It's amazing when you surround yourself with people who believe in you and believe in your potential. So you believe in yourself and your potential and shift things in amazing ways. So, I love it. I love hearing where you're going with it. And, you all being a testament to what's possible. So I'm just excited. All right, let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get right into this. Do you struggle with money? Do you feel like it's one of the biggest power struggles in your life? Do you always feel like you never have enough? You're in the lack of it. I've helped crack the code on the emotions underneath the blocks. That's really what I'm very well known for. How do you crack the code on what's the emotional trigger that's making you see and perceive money in such a negative way? That's creating the block, that's separating you from having more of it, because I attract good-hearted people. And if you're a good-hearted person and you would do good things with more money in your life, but you're being held apart from it, having more, there's some things that we got to unpack a little bit. And it's not to poke at the problem. It's not to cast blame. It's to help you shift your mindset. So yeah, if you're feeling really unsuccessful, you feel not enough, you feel like you're tying your success just to the amount that's in your bank account, you're always worried about it and you're feeling the lack of it, or you're really connecting it to worthiness and you don't feel worthy, or, you're just not feeling self-worth at all. We got to change these things, and you can. The nice thing is you can. So welcome in again. If you're new to me, I'm guaranteeing right now that you will have at least one ding, ding, ding moment, which is an aha moment. They're welcome. When you have an aha ding, ding, ding moment, you want to welcome those in. That's an aha, wow, that's me. Because with awareness, I can change. And I want you to have that ding, ding, ding moment. As a teacher at heart, I live for ding, ding, ding moments, epiphanies, that you shift your perspective and you change your mindset in that ding, ding, ding moment. So just do me a favor. As you're having a ding, ding, ding moment today, maybe take a snapshot or screenshot of it with your phone and share the ding, ding, ding moment on your social media. Tag me at Laura St. John 44 and share the nugget. You don't have to go teaching my content. I don't want you to have to go teaching my content. I'd rather you just send people to the replay of this workshop, but share the ding, ding, ding moment that you're having, because I do a lot of free workshops and free content with the intent that my messages will reach the people who are needing to hear them the most right in that very second. And I recognize that it's not just from me and my words, that you can also kind of spread that message by being like, wow, I just attended a money blocks workshop with Laura St. John. Ding, 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 and post it. I learned to unblock money, and just share your ding, ding, ding. So I would love that. All right. That's my ask for you, because then all the free stuff that I'm giving, just, it helps kind of just exponentially push it out to the people who need to hear it. So I'm asking you to just, that's my request. That, you don't have to sign up for my programs. You can, you don't have to. You might get a ding, ding, ding that's life-changing for you today. Pass the content forward to other people who need to hear it. You'll know after this 1 hour if you're ready to work with me and unstuck these blocks, but let's get through them. All right. I love seeing your testimonials here in the chat. It's really beautiful seeing your wins every week. I just thank you for being attracted to my content, my energy, how I deliver things in a kind of slap in the face with love. We call it the Jersey slap because I'm from New Jersey and I like to speak a lot of truth that I feel in my heart. Give let go or soak in anything that I have to say. It's just my perspective. It's my perspective based on my experiences so far and the thousands of people that I've had the pleasure to work with. So just know that like it may or may not feel true for you, whatever I have to say. No judgment, let it go. And if it does feel true, that's a ding, ding, ding moment right there. I'm going to be lighting up truth that's also in your heart. That's my goal. I believe these answers are inside you as well as the ones inside me. Okay. Number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to like just get at it. Number 10, you are always feeling stuck in guilt, like guilt and shame game. And you're always feeling guilty for wanting more money, guilty for spending, guilt, guilt, guilt. When you think of money, you think of guilt. And when you're stuck in that, splurging on yourself, investing in yourself, even in like a course like mine, that's going to help you be a better person, right? Unlock your best life. It's hard. You feel guilty about every little cent or dollar that you spend. And when you're stuck in guilt, I can guarantee that guilt probably didn't start there. Okay. It may have started anywhere else and now it's trickled into your money story. So if you're always feeling guilty and that's like kind of like who you are, guilty for putting your feet up, guilty for not doing something for 10 minutes, guilty for a choice you made 10 years ago or 10 minutes ago. If you are always feeling guilty, you are in the land of self-rejection. That is a huge money block. So this is a workshop to bring you awareness. Because again, with a ding, 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 that you're like, ding, ding, I'm guilty for feeling guilty. Let me know if that's you. You're like, oh no, Laura, I'm guilty for feeling guilty. I feel guilty all the time. Guilty about mistakes I've made, guilty about choices I've made, guilty about it's a rejection that you've not had good judgment in your perspective. You're judging yourself and you're judging yourself hard. And when you're in that guilt, you are tethering yourself to your past. So that's a ding, ding, ding. Because if you're in guilt and then you're tying guilt to money, money is not neutral to you. It is going to feel negative. So if you are like guilt, 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 Laura, I'm always feeling guilty, you got to learn how to really learn to accept yourself and recognize and trust yourself and trust the unfolding and understand, that even these negative choices can lead to positive things. And even choices that you've made around money, if it was negative to you right now, the current you might choose a different choice than the version of you 10 years ago or 10 days ago, but you are here right now. So it's time to clean up that guilt if you want to let it go. Guilt is a sneaky emotion because it like slithers in and it's not loud like anger. Guilt is quiet and it's very like suppressive. It like pushes you down. So when you're stuck in guilt and shame, you're really in, again, the land of self-rejection. You're basically like, I am not worthy. And therefore I can't put my feet up, or I can't spend some money on myself to better myself, or I can't, it's just, you're feeling very blocked by that. So if that sounds familiar to you, I hope I have the pleasure of working with you to unblock a guilt and step into self-acceptance mode and learn the steps on how to accept yourself and look at yourself and own it in different ways. My Money Blocks course goes through these things in greater detail. So I'm first going to talk about the 10 things you need to see as your blocks, because once you know they're a block, you can see what you're ready to work on. You can see like, I'm ready to unblock that, because you're really ready for a different level of self-acceptance and acceptance when it comes to money. And you've got to learn how to cut the strings between guilt and money, because otherwise, like every time, like more money will just feel like more guilt. Less money will feel less guilt. And if you want to feel less guilt and you're tying it to money, you will choose to find less money. Do you see how that tying works? So if you're tethering yourself to guilt with money, having more of it will just feel heavier. And because you don't want to feel that emotion. And it's not a fun one to be stuck in. So just know that you're ready to get unstuck with that. Number 9, money is, let me just know again, if you're in guilt, if you're like, LOL, yep, OMG. Like if you're just like, oh, so ready to like release the guilt that's tethering you. It's like caging you into an old you. Let's release the guilt. Let's make a flip on releasing guilt. Number 9, you believe money is like the root of all evil. It feels like a villain, like people who have money do bad things with it. And if you feel that way, you are, and you don't, this is why I said, if you got my email, that's like, this is why you need to do the Money Blocks course. If you are a good-hearted person and you have seen a lot of people do like negative things with money, you will hold yourself, without even realizing it, you will hold yourself apart from money because you are not in the belief that good-hearted people do good things with money. And if you just start understanding that it's not evil, right? And it's not good or bad. Money is not good or bad. Put it in the hands of good or bad people and it will magnify who they are. But if you're a good person, it is very likely, and you should just double check this with yourself right now. If you had a lot more money, would you do positive things with it besides like paying off debt and, whatever else it is that you might want to do? Like if you had money and you saw it as a paintbrush, are you painting a beautiful masterpiece? Or are you painting like an evil painting? Like it's in the art of the hand of the painter. So let me know if you are seeing it as a negative, because if you are seeing it as evil, yet, you see it like in the hands of good people, like that are rescuing people and saving animals and building schools and wells and, doing all kinds of amazing things that have tapped into abundance and goodness of the heart. You have to really do a spot check with yourself on like whatever I interpreted as evil or bad, like in the hands of people who are doing loving things, including yourself. What would you do with it? And so you don't want to hold yourself apart from that. I would actually prefer you see yourself spending it, like a few $1 million popped into your bank account right now. What are you doing with it? Like there's only so much stuff you can get and you would probably be satisfied. And, I do this interesting exercise with my children actually. And I have them every year write on the back of an envelope, like literally like this, which is funny. I have an envelope right here, like my welcome stuff and my little notes and stuff. Well, because I just like the size of it. Anyway, I have them take out, I have 3 boys and I have them take out an envelope and I do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I have them like write down anything and everything that they'd want to manifest physically. And then I write down like non-physically, like your health and, like love from your parents and things like that. And I ask them what are their top 10 lists of what they want to manifest. And when they start even writing the stuff like new golf shoes or a golf bag or, my little one is always like a trip, Ma, like I want to travel to, he wants to go to all these historic places around the world. There's only so many things, even when you're writing your top 10 list of what you probably want to manifest physically. So beyond like, my kids wanting like special things like I don't know, it'll go down to like pool toys or something. Like, it's just really interesting. You got to push, like, even to think of sometimes 10 things, even as a kid. That's like an unlimited imagination. So, that's the tangible things. And at some point you'll be satisfied, even though you might want like a fancy car or a dream house or whatever, because you think the version of you in that dream house doesn't worry as much over the bills. You're like, I want to be in that kitchen in that dream house because I think that version of me at that kitchen doesn't worry about these things. And so anyway, it's just an interesting thing, because when you start to see what you would even do with it, like, would you fund a charity? What would you buy? When you actually start spending it, like, if you think it's a villain or you think it's evil, you should do the spot check on your characteristics. What would you do with it? So that's going to already start to help you unblock. I love that, right? Like, look at the people that we're attracting here. I would help the homeless. I would build homes for veterans. I build a refuge for women and children escaping abuse. I would save so many animals, right? I mean, seriously. So it's huge. So it's time to really understand that money does not have characteristics people do. And if you're assigning the characteristic to the money versus the person, look yourself in the mirror and start making the list that I just told you in the same way, that you're like, oh, I am a good person with good characteristics and I would do all these good things. Okay, money, come to me, right? Let's not assume that you want to stand apart from it then. So number 9, so 10 was that you're stuck in guilt. Number 9 is it's a villain, like it's evil. Number 8 is a big one. It feels like it's an exclusive club, like it's only for an exclusive amount of people, like a small percentage, and that's it, and that you're not part of that club. And if you see that, you're assigning characteristics to the kind of people who have it and the kind of people who don't. And just because you haven't had it, you're like, so I'm part of that group, and I'll always be part of that group because I'm not part of this group. So if you feel like it's like a members only jacket and like not people like me, I would do everything you can do to unstuck this block, because it's beautiful to see people like in digital marketing that are making like thousands of dollars a month, people who are, like carving new paths of working from home and making this money, and like all these things that are happening in our world today in all different ways, even digitally, that people are starting to make money, or making a lot of money, or starting up businesses and, creating new methods of ways that people can make money. So again, people are often thinking that it's not like who they are. And if that's you definitely want to jump right into my Money Career Purpose course, do the Unstuck Your Blocks content, because you're separating yourself from like the characteristics part. And you're putting yourself in the bucket that's like, I don't have it, I've never been there. And you really need to see a different set of perspective of, no, there's all kinds of ways people are making money now. It's not a members only club. All kinds of kids, ages, all different things are like doing some really entrepreneurial things out there. Like older people, younger people, people from all over the place are making money in really unique ways these days. And it's a great thing to take a look at. So it's not exclusive. Money's non-exclusive, right? It doesn't say like, oh, do you not have these characteristics? I can't come into your account. Like money's not like that. But again, people's beliefs are. So if these are your beliefs and you feel it's exclusive, and you feel like it's not for you, you're going to see that. You're going to see that everywhere. But if you shift your perspective about it, you'll start to be more open-minded about different ways that it can be made. So again, money doesn't have characteristics, people do. And what characteristics are you assigning that people who have it are like this? Sometimes we're like, it's even like, again, back to the good or bad. You're like, oh, that person has money, because they're like this, they're greedy, they're this, they're that. And so of course then, ding, 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 you're going to separate yourself if you don't want to be like them. So it's really interesting when you ask yourself, what are the characteristics that I believe people who have it are like? And then see if you're limiting your perspective. And then try to do your best to open up your perspective and find other people that like come from different backgrounds, all different things, that have also made it. Because if you don't open that up, you'll only feel like it's like for the lucky few. And that's not true. There's an abundance of money out there. These things are for you to line. Like I'm just opening up some of these blocks right now. So you're like, that's why I'm not lining up to it. I don't see myself as the identity of the person who has it, or I see myself as a good person. I'm separating myself from the evil things, or I'm, always feeling guilty. So those are just the top 3. All right. 10, 9, 8. 10 was stuck in guilt. 9 is it's a villain. 8, it's an exclusive members only club. Number 7, big one. Okay. Big one. That you feel like never enough ever. Ever, no matter what comes in, it's not enough. So even if you're working, you get a paycheck, it comes in, you're not like, you're like, oh, not enough, because it might not be not enough right now, but it gives you the feeling of not enough. So even as it's coming in, that's not a relief. As it's even coming in, you're like, not enough. So let me know if this is you. It's like never enough ever. And if it's never enough ever, again, like spending it's not going to feel good. Seeing it come in is not going to feel good. Every little bit of money being spent or saved, even to pay a bill, it lights up not enough. And you're like, okay, Laura, but like, how do I get over it when it's in reality, it's not enough? Like, I don't have enough. I'm not clearing what I even need to clear in a month. So if that's you, this feeling is very active because you're like, oh, that's so me. Like, no matter what, the word money and the thought of money equals not enough. So no matter how much is even coming in and offering you no relief, it's lighting up and it's activating the feeling of lack. When that's happening, you are spinning in lack. And it's recognizing, like when you do, for example, my Success Pie tool or different tools, how to flip out of the feeling of not enough. Because if money's the thing that's activating it, even as it comes in, it's activating lack and not like, here comes the relief. I'm ready to have more of it, but here it comes. It's the fuel. And it doesn't feel like the fuel. It only feels like here it comes, but it's not enough. What's most important right now is that you're getting the ding, ding, dings from me. Like, oh, I have that block. Oh yeah. Even as it comes in, it's lighting up lack because money wants to like be welcome into your life. And if even as it's coming in, it's not like feeling welcome, it's a feeling, right? It's a feeling that's being activated. And if that feeling is not positive, how are you in line with more when all it's lighting up is lack? Okay. So yes, have that ding. You're like, oh, this is me. This is me. Because again, you're in scarcity and it's lighting up insecurity and it's lighting up less than enough and it's not lighting up more than enough. And do you know what this is going to light up? Ding, ding for all of you. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm never enough. So that should hit a real deep ding, ding, ding chord for many of you in your heart right now. And I'm not trying to light it up as a negative. I'm trying to light it up, like turn the light on to this exercise of blocks, because if you know your blocks, if you know what you're stuck in, you can get unstuck. But if you don't know what you're stuck in, you can't get unstuck. Okay, so ding, ding. If you're never feeling enough and you don't feel good enough, the work is in feeling more than enough. The fix is not to like, you don't clean up not enough by having more not enough. You're spinning in lack. You clean it up by understanding the flip it and tapping into more than enough. And if you aren't finding it now in money, what you're really seeking is like not feeling like a failure, not feeling doubt, not feeling I never have enough. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. And you start recognizing like I am more than enough. Even if the money in my bank account is not enough, that is not who I am. I am more than enough. And if you're not feeling more than enough, you will be activating not enough in situations outside of you, in relationships, in your bank account, in not enough of anything. We cover this a lot in my private group coaching. You might feel like you don't have enough time, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough appreciation, you don't have enough love. Like where the not enough shows up, like this is all related to your own self-doubts in yourself. And it may have started with what you see in your bank account, but if it's reflecting, I'm not good enough, that's where your work is going to be. Okay, that's why you jump in and you're like, I really want to learn how to feel more than enough. I want to learn how to appreciate myself and like be in alignment of self-worth and, and allow in more because I'm more than enough, regardless of what's in my bank account. Because now you're tying it to some of these other blocks, which is self-worth and measuring success. And now you're going to do all these blocks, FYI, are related. So I don't want you to spin here and be like, oh my goodness, I have all these blocks. They're all related. So they're all related. And I'm just going to give you a good ding, ding, ding right now. That if they're all related to the negative and you're stuck in all these blocks or like 4 or 5 of these 10, The good news is that when you get unstuck, it domino affects it to the other side. Like it starts cleaning up one after another, and after another. So ding, you clean things up and you shift them to the positive. So I'm just shedding some light right now on these negative blocks, because again, when you unstuck them to the other side, it has a ping pong effect in the same way to the positive. So you're like, oh, okay. Just feel the relief in that, because just know that you're like, oh, it's usually not one, it's usually just one or two things of the list to start cleaning up, and it impacts the other ones, right? Like, just like right now, if you have money stress, it may be causing stress in relationships. It might be, causing stress to you, from you, of you, again, not feeling like enough. And then that might be impacting other areas of your life. So you're like, wow, if I just had like more money, it would start cleaning up all these other things. And it's the same thing once you feel better. Once you start working on one of these things or two of these things, and you start feeling better, it helps clean up and shift all of these things to the positive. That's my point here, is that the work winds up being really more about releasing the blocks and not holding on to them so tight, and then pushing them away. So I'm just bringing awareness to them right now. But not enough is very much tied to your self-doubt. Okay, because now you're doubting yourself, you're doubting your choices, you're feeling all kinds of lack. And it's honestly a reflection of you not feeling enough. And when you start to shift it and feel more than enough, despite the number that's in your account, you will start to shift things. And most likely you don't know how. But the first step is knowing that's your block. The second steps are understanding how to flip it and shift and change your mindset and all the other things. But my first thing always in lesson 1, when you guys are with me, it's like, well, what's blocking you? What's blocking you? So we even know what to change. This is just step 1. So it's a big step though, because again, with awareness, you can change. So I really want to work with the people who have all of these things, but especially if you're always feeling never enough. I know you're stuck in doubt somewhere in your life, and it's just showing up in money. And I would love to help you flip out of doubt and into strength and confidence. It's why I founded Strong Confident Living. So you can trust in yourself, know that you're more than enough. You're whole and complete in who you are, and you can reflect that level also into your bank account. Okay. And you can completely separate them, which is where you need to start. That's actually your next step, to separate the I'm not enough from the bank account of not enough. We got to separate these two things. So amazing. Literally got $728 out of nowhere last week after working on this. Amazing. Not surprising. I love seeing the messages publicly. I get to see them privately all day long, of people sending me like, Laura, you're not going to believe this. Amazing. Not surprising. This happened as I unstuck this block, and then this came my way, and I didn't even realize that was possible. And I'm like, yeah, you shifted your mindset, and amazing, not surprising things start shifting. I can't really explain it except you're shifting and things shift. So that's amazing. And you guys, again, we have a welcome and wins call for new members every Monday. So as you jump in and dive in deeper to my content, you get to meet you all on Zoom, see each other, and all that fun stuff, because these wins happen a lot and you deserve them. So not enough is a big one. That's number 7. So 10, again, stuck in guilt. 9, it's a villain. 8, it feels like an exclusive club. 7, not enough ever. Let's clean this up. Okay, number 6 is an uneven exchange. An uneven exchange. Let me know if money always feels like a conditional exchange. Like you got to sacrifice one thing in order to have more money. Like it's always a sacrifice. It's never like I can have my cake and eat it too. It's not an enabler. It's like a disabler. Like if you're going to you're not going to you got to sacrifice something if you're going to have more money. And although that might feel true to you, where you're like, I have to give up this to work on that. There's other perspectives of this. And when you shift from more of a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset, you'll realize, what if you didn't have to choose between this or that? Like I set a long time ago a goal when I had my first of 3 boys that I now have. My oldest is 20. So this is 21 years ago when he was in my belly. I was like, I clearly desire to make plenty of money to pay for my bills and be able to be with my kids, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on any given day if I so choose. So I want to be in charge of my flexible schedule, which meant that I don't want it to be an uneven exchange. I don't want to have to work for someone else that's telling me what I have to do in order to make enough money to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner on any given day with my own children. That was my money goal. And so like it started there. It started like with a real simple way of how I wanted to look at not an uneven exchange. I want that and I want that. I want to be around for my children and I want to make plenty of money to pay for my bills and cover the cost of this and tap into the luxury I desire and deserve. So where you feel like you have to make a sacrifice, you are setting a condition. And once you set a condition, like an if then, like if I do this, then blank. And if that blank is negative, then I can't have that. I am like telling you, become very consciously aware of that ding dang, because it's not true. Like there's possibilities that you could do that and have that. So if you're working with me, you know, one of my favorite manifesting words is a 3-letter word called and. Like I want that and I want that. And I don't want to feel guilty about wanting to be at home with my children and make enough money to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner with them and pay for my bills and tap into luxury that I desire. Right? Like, so you got to ease your way into it sometimes with a very clear list of what you desire. But if you're having things not coexist and money is part of the sacrifice, you're in fear. You're allowing fear into that money story where you're like, I can't because this. And I'm like, that's one way to look at it. That's just one way. So it's amazing. Oh, I love that, Jason. I've already lost count on how many wins I've had since I jumped into the 6-week course on October 6th. And we are only on October 24th. So that's how many wins you should be feeling, not just financially, but in every aspect of your life. Because I can guarantee if you are feeling these blocks, like, oh, it's conditional, it's probably other things that are conditional. Like if I eat that, then I'm gonna that and da 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 da. Like if I don't lose the weight today, then I won't da 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 da. Like you're probably having a lot of things control you if you're in conditional behavior where things outside of you, whether it's money, the scale, food, your boss, your job, like is always a sacrifice. So if you're allowing this to happen with money, dang, 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 you're probably in this mindset in other areas. And that's why you guys, when you're in my courses, it's why I give you the access to the 6-week courses, like when you're in my private group coaching, to every area. Because I'm like, oh, where are you making things conditional in your love life? Where are you making things conditional in your career, right? Where are you making things conditional, like if-thens in your money situation and story? Like that's why I'm saying, like when you unclear, like when you like unstuck yourself from the stuck of this mindset, you clear it. And then you clear it in other areas. It's like why sometimes people do my body image course and they're like, oh my goodness, I was deflecting compliments. I was like not allowing even someone to say my hair looks nice. I didn't realize that's also saying I'm not worthy of money. Like don't send love my way in any form, right? Whether that's to my body and the physical expression of who I am or in my bank account. So like once you start to see like where you're pushing things away, where you're like making things conditional, where your blocks are, what your perspectives are, this is all part of what I teach in terms of mindset shifts. And I know it's a lot that I'm giving you in a 1-hour workshop, but it's to light you up and being like, oh my goodness, ding, ding, that's me. And with awareness, I can change. I can change my relationship with that thought. I can change my relationship with money. I can change my relationship to how I am tying myself to money in a negative way, or not tying myself to money because I'm scared of the negative and fear. So it's huge. It's huge. So thank you for all the love on the comments. I love when you guys keep sharing the ding dings. So if you're like, ding ding, this is so me, Laura. It's an uneven exchange. It's always been a sacrifice. Like even like you may have been raised like that. Like it's always got to be hard, or you got to give up something in order to get that. And I'm like, what if you don't? What if you can have both? What if it's not what if you don't have to choose between one or the other? What if it can become an and? An and. And if you have a hard time with it, you might go back to number 10, which is I feel guilty, like for wanting more. I feel greedy. right? It feels evil versus being like, no, I would be a great mom. I'd be home more with my kids. And I would also have this. It would be an and. It would be like, and I'd be a more like complete, like in adoration of my own life that I'm creating and stepping into. And I'd be a reflection of unconditional love. And like, okay, abundance come to me because like, why not? Why not? Because again, you would probably do a lot of great things with that version of you. I can pretty much know that by the kind of people that I attract into this community, that you would do great things. So stop the sacrifice talk. That's number 6, the uneven exchange. Number 5 is because you don't have to choose. So you don't have to, no more. You're like, I choose not to choose. I want that and I want that. And if you want that and it's a dream in your heart, there's paths to it. And it's not your job to have to carve the path. The paths have already been made. Everything's already out there created. We don't have to create. We just have to line up to it. So it goes into your account, right? Like you're like, how do I line up to it? Well, you have to be the version of you that's not blocking it. So this is way more about understanding your blocks so you can learn the next steps on how to release them. Once you release them, you're already attracting them in the form of who you are, whole and complete in the version of you today. Like this stuff can happen fast. So it's pretty amazing once you know where your blocks are. So number 5 is that it's caging you in. You feel trapped. So your money story involves like a trap that's giving money, like again, a weight versus a feeling of freedom. For example, you're trapped by a 9-to-5 that you hate, but you're stuck in it because it pays you, or you're stuck in a very large mortgage or something that's draining you. And when you're getting this like money is driving you into this like binded feeling where you're caged into something that you do not want. Again, you're now making your money story where like you're feeling like a prisoner into something that's also not entirely true. It's one way, but it's not the way. Like maybe it's not your way. Maybe it's been your way, but does it have to always be your way? Like the level of permanence that we place on the tethering of into our cages is like something that might be your true reality right now, but with a shift in perspective and mindset, you will open up to other paths. So if you feel like it's always binding you like a heavy weight, and money is not a fuel, money equals a weight in your life. Let me know if this is you, because this is something you want to change. Because how can you allow in more of it when it feels like the biggest, like when it's attached to the biggest drag of your life? It's like, right? Money's like, that's not an abundant mentality. That is, this whole thing is a terrible thing that I'm stuck in. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people over the years of my coaching that wished for a different situation, you know, and then sometimes adversity bumps you on a path, you get like fired, or like, you know, something changes, your spouse's schedule, you have to move, something gets like ousted, and you're like, oh, I really wished for that. I didn't even have the courage to leave that. And I got ousted, and thank goodness, because now look at what I'm doing. And sometimes that happens, right? Where adversity bumps you onto the path. And then you realize how caged in you were to something you got bumped out of. And sometimes it doesn't bump you, and you have to have the courage to make the tough decision. And it's hard when you're stuck in it. That's why I train you guys on how to unstuck these blocks, because when you feel like money is part of your story of being trapped and caged, you're not in an energy of more. You're not in an energy of seeing it as your fuel. You are definitely in an energy of seeing it as your cage, and it's part of the cage. So it's tying you to it. It's just a very negative energy. That's a very limited perspective. Let me just put it that way. Because if you got bumped out of it and you were forced to kind of see a different perspective because you were no longer tethered to the job you hated, for example, I've seen this happen a countless amount of times. And then you found another way, you would be like, oh, you mean I could have been doing that whole time? And I'm like, yeah, that path existed. And so there's 10 other paths just like it. So when you're not allowing yourself, and I'm not saying stay or go. I'm never here to help you. Like, I'm never here. Well, I am here to help you. I am not here to tell you to stay or go in situations. I'm here to help you shift your mindset around the block, because when you do, you will see other paths, even while you're in the 9 to 5 you do not want. For example, you'll be like, I didn't even realize, Laura, and then my neighbor like told me about this, and you'll be in a different mindset to a conversation, because you're now aware of, you're ready to release this block, that money is not having to drive your story of why you're tethered to something you hate. Money should be part of a story for you that is fuel. Okay, that is fuel. And you are driving. You are driving. Money is not driving. And the job or the mortgage is not driving. So who's actually driving? Okay, who's actually driving? And if you're not driving, you will feel powerless and weak. You will feel caged in. And if you are not driving your life, period, and someone else has the keys, or money has the keys, or the job has the keys, or someone else, in your life that's controlling has the keys, you will feel caged in. And again, I'm not here to tell you stay, go, and anything. I'm here to say the first shift should happen right here in your mindset, in what you believe to be true about that limited perspective, because that is a negative lens and it will not lead you to more abundance. So hopefully that helps you. If you're feeling very caged in, you're really ready to feel freedom. You're really ready to see money as a magnifier, to be a fuel for your way out. And that difference will start to shift you. All right. Number 4, inherited negative thoughts. Okay. Ding dings are all around. I love it. Inherited negative thoughts by upbringing, by our society. Like, money is the root of all evil. You have to work really hard of it. Like, it doesn't grow on trees. Like, what are you thinking with that? Like, what, why did you buy that? Like, who needs that kind of thing? Whatever it is that you were judged with money, given, dished out, whatever you saw, honestly, growing up. And this is not to blame our parents or society. This is to recognize that if you're an adult and you're sitting here right now on the other side of my screen, and I'm looking at you through my camera, that you have the ability to throw out an inherited thought that was not even your original thought to begin with, in any area of your life, not just money, but in not feeling like good enough, in feeling like it's, a villain, in feeling like why you should feel guilty and shameful about spending it, or, any of these things that were inherited thoughts, meaning not your original thought. If this was not your original thought, please have a ding, ding, ding moment with me that you're like, well, if someone else's thought, my mom's, like my neighbors, my 3rd grade teachers, was not even my own, and then I repeated it enough times or heard it enough times in my head that it became my own, and then it attached to a feeling of lack, of greed, of negativity, of, whatever it is that you're then, it became a feeling. Now it's just an active feeling. So when you have had a thought that is thought over and over and over again, even if it wasn't your own, and you think it enough times, and you've heard it enough times, like, other people's talk becomes your self-talk. It's why I love coaching a lot of the parents and grandparents that are here, because I'm like, whatever you're doing, especially if you're changing negative to positive, how you talk to yourself, how you look at yourself in the mirror, what you say out loud, like, becomes everyone else's self-talk around you. So if you're not open to changing for yourself, because maybe you reject yourself, start changing for the people that you love, and then reflect it back into yourself. But at least also start changing for yourself. And so you can start creating a life that you love and adore, and then surround yourself with people that you love and adore, and see them see you rise. Like, watch their changes as they watch you rise. And sometimes that might be ups and downs along the way, but nothing, I'm just going to say it because I have seen my mom rise over the years. It's like, nothing's more powerful. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have unhappy days, or you shouldn't share like a struggly day, but nothing's more powerful than getting down, getting back up, dusting off, and moving forward. That's a powerful lesson to learn and watch. So if you're really ready to make shifts, jump in. These are awareness hacks so you can create the change that I want to help you create. These are huge things, because just imagine the inherited negative thoughts that you've received over the years that you're like, oh my goodness, that wasn't even my thought. And you're like, now it's my thought. And now I'm saying that thought. And I want to stop and nip and zip that thought. I want to, when you guys are like, I hear your little Laura St. John on your shoulder questioning like that thought. I want to challenge my thoughts. I want to really be like, does that thought make me feel good? If that thought does not make me feel good, and it wasn't even mine to begin with, it is time to get recycled, thrown out, put it in the recycling bin. And if you don't know how, those are the tools that I've created, right? Like how to actually shift your thoughts, how to assign a new thought. So you have a new thought that you think over and over again till that's the better thinking thought. And then once that's better, in your brain over and over again, you're like, now I have Laura St. John's thought of why not? That and that. It's not an exclusive club. You deserve it. You're more than enough. And you start hearing new thoughts. And even if it's mine, instead of whoever gave you the negative one, that's okay. Borrow my thought until it becomes your thought. And then when it's your thought, you will feel better. You'll already feel lighter just by this broadcast being like, you mean that thought exists and it's attached to abundance? And I'm like, yeah, all these thoughts can be debunked. And they're just to me, I'm like, it's a myth. These things it's such limited perspectives. And when you unlimit your perspective and you start to shift your mindset, you'll be like, oh my God, remember the version of me that thought that? Look at all the money I have and look at all the good I've done on the planet with all this that I've been able to line up to. Because again, I guarantee that you would do great things with more money. And I know it. I know it in my heart because I've seen it. I've seen our community expand into money and do great things. I mean, my niece, I see her launching the Livy Fund, and I'm so excited because I'm like, oh, I would love to be part of all the education, that's coming into her fund now, helping all these kids make, additional money she's done. And now fostering, it compounds. The success that compounds success is when you're a good-hearted person, it is a huge ripple effect. So inherited thoughts, I want you all to be the example of going from not enough to more than enough. And look what I'm doing, not in an arrogant, prideful way, but in a self-confident, wow, really fulfilling way. Because this is all possible. So it's time to inherit new thoughts, even if you borrow them from me, because you do deserve it. You are worthy. You do. You are worthy of receiving more. So that inherited thought, that needs to get rewritten. And I would love the opportunity to be your coach and help you rewrite those thoughts until you feel better. But at this point, even if you're new to me, I'm just recognize what makes you feel better, lighter. That's the direction. That's your truth. That is actually me lighting up the truth in your heart. That's why I'm saying relish in the ding, ding, ding moments. I'm a unique coach. I've got a unique set of methods. I've got, these are things that just have literally come to me as I feel the truth in my heart and I speak them out, my own little ding, ding, dings. But I am here to light up this truth inside your heart because it also exists in you, this truth. And when it helps you feel lighter, that's truth. That is the light of awareness, literally opening in your heart of unlimited potential. And you're feeling it. You're like, oh, that feels good. That feels true. That feels better. That feels lighter. That is true. That's truth. So when you're really aligned to truth, truth is revealed. It reveals itself in the exact precise order it's meant to, in the exact timing it's meant to, because you're opening your heart to yourself. So if you're full of ding, ding, ding moments right now, just know that's my intent, is to help you feel lighter. As you feel lighter, you will unblock abundance. Okay, so these are just the initial steps. I can't wait for you to have more positive thoughts than the negative inherited thoughts, because you'll rewrite the blueprint for your family. You'll be the one that carries the torch, being oh my goodness, this has been through the generations. And I'll be like, who knew that was your job, to carry the torch and show your family today moving forward. That's the new direction. Pretty powerful. All right. So that's number 4. Number 3, this is a big one. This is where I used to go when I had money struggles. Hide and avoid. OMG, I'll never forget like years ago when I would like get the bills and I just stuff them in a drawer. And I'm like, if I just stuff them like really deep in the drawer under all these things, maybe they'll just go away, right? The hide and avoid, that was where I would go. I'm like, I can't face it. So if you're in there, that's a big one, because when you don't face it, whatever your struggles are, avoidance magnifies problems. Avoidance magnifies fear. So when you're avoiding something, but you know it's in the drawer, it's actually not going away. And it's now even heavier weighing on your back. So ding, ding, ding. And I see you guys about, even if your kids are older, don't worry. It's never too late. It's never too late. If you create change, you're creating a platform for change, not only for your family, but anyone in humanity that's ready to tap into that level of consciousness. So just know, like from a deeper, profound level, like anytime change is made, we're all connected, change happens. It's pretty much like a humanity thing in my book, the way I see it. Okay. But back to this. If you're a hider and an avoider, that's where I was. So I feel for you. All these things are connected. But if you rather not face it, you are not empowering yourself. These same bills exist, whether you empower yourself or you hide and avoid. And you're probably hiding and avoiding because you don't have tools. I didn't have tools like I have tools now to understand what I now understand. So just know that, hiding and avoiding it is not strong and confident. It's powerless and weak, and it's not actually helping you. So what you clearly desire is to look at and own where you're at so you can take the steps and take your power back from the bills, from the money situation, from like whatever, even if you feel like it's a mess that you're in, so you can empower yourself, because you got to do it anyway, right? You got to face this stuff anyway. You can face it in a very flipped, empowered energy. And I would love, love, love the opportunity to teach you how, because these are really deep lessons of how to draw the line in the sand, not move it, tolerate less, like stop tolerating less than what you deserve, how to handle like projecting a greater amount of success into your life. So you stop avoiding, stop hiding. Okay, it's not helping you. All right, the last two, super juicy. And then I'm going to bump into a Q&A sesh that is in our Zoom. So I know, just before I forget, I need to publish this out. I have options. If you guys are not already in, I know a lot of you here right now are already in my coaching. Amazing. Because right after this, we're going to go into a live Q&A on Zoom. And I can ask you like 109876543221, which ones or one do you have that you want to crack the code of? And I'll show you the exact lessons to get unblocked. But if you know these are your blocks and you do want to unblock them, I did just put up in the offer section, like just jump right into the 6-week coaching on money. Okay, like jump right in, start lesson 1 today, because you'll start getting unblocked. And lesson 1 is how to unblock these blocks, because people are like, well, how do I do it? How do I fix it? There's a whole next hour on, once you are aware of your blocks, what to do with them, how to unstuck them. There's then there's the next step after, which is how to flip them from negative to positive. But the first step is becoming aware of them, which is what you're doing now. The second step is do lesson 1, how to unstuck them. And then you learn how to flip them. So those are what's next. But let me just, these last two are game changer. So don't go anywhere. Okay, these last two are game changer. Number 3 was hide and avoid. So 10 was stuck in guilt. 9 is it's a villain. 8, it's an exclusive club. These are all the blocks. 7, not enough ever. 6, it's an uneven exchange. 5, it feels caged in. 4, inherited thoughts, like negative thoughts. 3, you're hiding and avoiding. 2, it's your measurement of success, that you will not allow yourself to feel successful until a certain number is in your bank account, or until you've made a certain sale, then you'll feel successful. And because you're tying it to like, I've made it when, I'll feel success when, and you're tying it very one-dimensionally to money. And, I'm sure you're successful in other areas of your life outside of money. Maybe you're really good at being a great listener, having, solid friendships, whatever you might be good at, gardening, like cooking, anything, right? Like going for walks every day, being consistent with things like that are important to you. whatever it is that you can find success at, that you're only seeing success as money. If you only measure your success and you don't see success multidimensional, like you don't see success in many ways. For me, it's like the sparkle that I am able to see in the people's eyes that I work with and smiling again, and the welcome and wins calls that we have every week where I get to hear you be happier than you've been before, or that you haven't been in a really long time. And I know that that happiness is also unblocking more abundance. How you're measuring yourself and the conditions you are putting around your own self-worth and money. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, and ding. If you're like, I am not worthy until I won't allow myself to feel self-worth until this, that conditional behavior is a huge block, because you're seeing success very limited. And that is not what attracts more. Okay, that is so limited. Money and abundance does not love to come through the doors of lack. Like, I am only good and I'll only feel worthy and I'll only feel success if this much money is in here. Otherwise, it's all lack. Well, then guess what you're attracting? Lack, low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-confidence. And what will you be banking on? The external. Well, when this person just buys my program, then I'll feel worthy. No, you're now giving the keys of your self-worth, and you will be powerless because you're giving it away. You're giving it away to everyone and their mother and brother to give to you. And that's not where you get it. You get self-worth in your heart, right? So worthiness and deserving and success, if this is so you, yes, my coaching is so next level. Thank you. This is just a scratch the surface. If you're brand new to me, can you just write new if you're new to me? I don't even know how many new people, like, this is your first interactions with me live. But this is just like a scratch the surface. I want to work with you. I literally am like rolling up my sleeves. I'm actually like kind of warm right now. I want to work with you on these blocks. So like, you are way more worthy than getting stuck in these blocks. So if you are measuring your success only by money, you are not attracting more. You're not going to attract more money that way. When you feel your self-worth, whether you're on the cover of a magazine or not, you attract all kinds of things to come your way that are very in line with that self-worth. But self-worth has to be felt first, not after. And so it's huge. Ding, ding. Welcome, welcome. All right. So that's a big thing, to stop blocking it. Stop tying it to your self-worth. All right. This last one's really, really big. And then we'll do a quick wrap up with, next steps. But money is like where like money and happiness are tied. So it's like it buys happiness. Like there's a price tag to happiness. And I won't be happy until I have more money, Laura. Like, I will not let myself breathe and be happy. I got to work so hard. I got to, spend the next 10 hours working because I don't have enough and I'm not enough. And therefore I can't let myself be happy. Let me know if this is you. I'm not worthy of happiness. I got to now work 10 times harder today because I don't deserve to be happy until I get more money. And if this is you, ding, ding. Welcome to the mindset family here at Strong Confident Living. You and happiness and money need to have a different kind of party together, because when I got to work harder because I'm in lack because of all these other blocks I just talked about, and money is magnifying like unhappiness. Money is just a magnifier. So if you're like, I will not let myself, like I will not allow myself to be happy and like play with my kids or go for a walk for 10 minutes because I got to work so hard because I don't have enough, because I'm not enough. And I feel guilty. And I won't let myself then, because I'm guilty, feel happiness. This is a huge block that I would love to help you unblock, because first of all, I always like to speak to the parents in the house, because kids only care about the quality time you're spending with them. So if you don't spend the 5 or 10 minutes that matter to them, because you got to work so hard and you got to put your face into the computer and your phone and not spend that time with them because you won't allow yourself the happiness of being with the people you love until you're allowing yourself to reach a happier place when you have the relief of more money in your bank account. This is like a double-edged sword of unhappiness, because now you're teaching your kids that you can't have the happiness. You're going to be an example of unhappiness. You're going to show them that money and happiness are conditional and that you have to do these things. And I'm bringing this to light because I see this done all the time with positive intent. Like, oh, I got to work so hard. I can't possibly like take an hour off and go watch you play baseball or whatever. And you guys, I'm here to remind you, like at the end of the day, if you had more money in it and you want more money to spend the time, like even a little bit of time, you don't have to go watch the 1 hour, whatever, like the 10 minutes, the 5 minutes, like the things that matter, your attention, your focused energy to the people you love is what matters. And if you think money is what's going to just buy that, and so you won't let yourself be happy until you have that, you are in lack. And I'm just reminding you, spend the 5 or 10 minutes of quality time before school, after school, at nighttime, whatever, because that condition of happiness, especially if you're tying it around time with the energy of people that you love and you're holding yourself short of it, you're not allowing it in. This is big. So these are not sins, 10 sins. These are not like terrible things. These are just blocks. They're common, but there's not a price tag to happiness. There's no price on happiness. Happiness is your birthright. And I want you to be an example of happiness, even when you don't have money. Because I've worked with homeless people who have no money, who are happy. And I've worked with homeless people who have no money, who are unhappy. And I've worked with really rich gabillionaires who have a ton of money, who are happy. And I've worked with a ton of gabillionaires who are unhappy. Happiness and money are only conditional in our minds. So if you're the one thinking that money equals happiness, I wish you could work with both sides of what I've been able to see. To say, no, like I've worked with people who have it and are unhappy or happy. And I've worked with people who don't have it, who are unhappy and happy. In the same way, like I've worked with Victoria's Secret models who love their body and hate their body, right? Like I've seen confident people not have like the body that you would expect to have the confidence sometimes and like rock it and be like, yes. None of these things are conditional. No feeling is conditional based on how you look, what's in your bank account, how much you own, like what you have. Are you a good person? Would you open the door for a stranger? Would you love that someone opens the door for you? Do you love like this, like free content? This is free, right? I've got free tools. I'm like, good people with money do good things to bring awareness and light and love to the planet. And if you're one of those people and you've met me, no coincidence, because if you're stuck in any of these blocks, I want you to know, just first and foremost, these are just blocks. Separate them from who you are. You are not your blocks. These blocks exist outside of who you are. You have to start rewriting this story. You are a good-hearted person who would likely do a lot of great things with a lot of money. And if you start spending it right now in your imagination and you're like, I'd pay this bill, pay that bill. I'd take my mom to the spa. I'd like grab my nieces and go on this vacation. And then I'd buy this, and that. Okay. And then that's over. And then I'd maybe make this level of impact. I'd help this, animal. I'd help these refugees. I'd help like this. I'd bring mindset content to the planet. I'd do this. I do that. I do this. I do that. Like if you know what you would even do, and you're already like spending it, you're already giving in your heart with it, then stop blocking yourself from it, because you're here for a scratch of time in the limited lens of our lifetime, right? Like we have today moving forward, which is the good news. From today moving forward, you have the ability to change any of these blocks. And you've just learned step 1, get unblocked, like know what the blocks are. Now, step 2 in my content, know the exact one that you're stuck in. Okay, I'm going to share my window. Know the exact content that you're stuck in. And let me open up a browser and go right into my private group coaching and go right into the Money Career Purpose course and do lesson 1, how to shrink these blocks into the size of a pebble, what feels like a wall, and shrink them into a pebble. Like these things all feel like walls. You got to learn the free pass tool, and you got to learn how to take these blocks, which feel like a huge boulder in your path or a wall that's blocking you and holding you from abundance. And you do this next lesson. And then you do the clear the money blocks. And then you do these are the career money purpose blocks. And then you unblock the feeling of never enough with a success pie. And then you tie it back to happiness. You just start reassigning, right? Then you do the 4-quadrant alignment tool. So you align your thoughts and you give yourself a mindset tune up. Like you do the trust bucket to success, like the trust bucket lesson, but just 100% on money and success. And you start to learn these things and you'll be like, oh, this is where I'm blocked. This is where I'm ready to get unblocked. So I hope that any of these things, it's just you're ready to get unstuck. And just if you're in my coaching, I'm just going to drop the link right now. If you're not in my coaching, just go to my website and go to the Get Started Now. You can start with my free tools if you're not ready to jump in. But like if I can guarantee change, which I do, I guarantee change in your life, 30 days or a money back guarantee. I don't want to even like have an uneven exchange. I want you to get into my coaching and I want you to be like, this is exponential in value to the $159 a month or the $550, whichever you choose to pay monthly or, upfront. So just, the trust bucket lesson alone. Okay. So I see that Shelly helped you with something. Let me see. I'm going to quickly bounce to some of the Q&As now. What's the difference between monthly and the 6-week course? There's no difference. There's access to all the same content. It's just look at it as a different payment plan. So some people want to sign up when you go to sign up to the $159 a month. Or you can join in and just pay one lump sum fee, which is the $550. So you could either choose monthly. It's the same access to the same content. It's just, do you want to be in a monthly payment plan option or do you want to just pay up front and have 10 weeks of access? Sometimes people like to just pay up front and have a certain amount of access. Sometimes people like to just pay monthly. And I just recognize that over the years. So I offer both options. How do we access your coaching tools for kids? I am going to relaunch. I've been saying this for a while, but we're getting close. Like right now, a lot of my coaching for kids and teens is done privately throughout the world. I originally started with kids and it was through private coaching of a lot of elite kid athletes. I coach kids all the way to Australia and I can't wait to relaunch a whole coaching membership just for kids and teens. So that's coming. So stay tuned on that. That's a big goal of mine. So just know it's been in the works and getting there. Everything in good timing. Shelly. Okay, thank you. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing questions in the chat. Any other questions? Okay, everyone feels like they have versions of these blocks. When you jump in, go right to the money course, and then you'll be joining my Q&As like every Thursday. I do it and you can have a private channel right with our group where you can post me your exact questions, which is also amazing. The access right now is for it's the $159 a month and you're accessing the course. You're actually unlocking not just the money course. So let me explain and I'll show you what you get. So the access, you're either buying an access pass right now for the 6-week coaching where you're like, I just want to have access for 6 weeks and I give it to you a 4-week bonus. So you have 10 weeks to go through the content, or the monthly plan where you're just like, I just want to have all the things, and it's just month to month. You're just accessing all the content. They're just different payment plans to the same content. Let me show you what you get though. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Screen share on, bada bing. So you understand what you are receiving. When you are in the private group coaching experience, You get that Money Career Purpose course, but you'll have access private group coaching. You'll log in and you'll see the weekly events. So every week you'll see at the top, this is like the events of the week. And then you'll see where you can post me a question. All questions from today have been answered. There's over 1,500 questions in here now. It's amazing, and answers. So you'll see a private Q&A channel. You'll see like new workshops, that this workshop will go there. And then you'll start to see the content. But on top of that, so you're getting access to all of my advanced courses and content, all of my intro courses and content. You're really getting access to every time I built out a $550 6-week course, any of these courses, you get access to all of them. So whether you're accessing them for just 6 weeks with the 4-week extension, or you're accessing month to month, cancel anytime. I found like I just put the monthly available to you now because people just stick into my content. Like once you have this content, you know, there's years of worth of content in here, like advanced content, intro content. But what I love about it is, especially if you're having these blocks like impact your health or happiness or relationships, you're getting access to all of it. So just look at that as a bonus. Like you're getting access to all the content, regardless of the pricing. And then on top of it, you get the live coaching. I do a lesson every week on Monday nights, and I do live Q&A. So there's all the live community tools on top of it. If you want to engage with me in live events like this, you have access to that as well. So I hope that helps sometimes distinguish. I think sometimes it's just me articulating the offer to understand that you can just choose your payment plan option that works better for you. You will, I hope, be like unbelievably like wowed by the depth of the content library you get access to versus just like one course. Amazing. Okay. I find paying off my debts is hard. I think I find something new to earn money that's going to get me out of it. And I don't know if it's a worthiness thing. Okay. So that would be a couple of the blocks that we just talked about that I would love to help you get unblocked. But really, honestly, if you were inside my content, you would do the next steps that I told you to do. But what you need to do is the fear to confidence course, because what you keep doing, and many people do this, you're not alone, is that you're placing your confidence in like the new thing instead of inside your heart and with the direction in which you want to be going. So you're like, now there's this new opportunity. That's going to be my answer. And I'm like, no, mindset, you're the answer. You got to place the confidence back inside yourself. Stop taking the confidence out of you and placing it in some business opportunity or thing that's outside of you that's going to save you. You're going to save you. And you got to make this flip. And that's a mindset flip. So like that's a perpetual, let me look outside of myself for confidence instead of, because I can't find it in me. And if that's where you start, I will teach you how to look for it outside of you and then reflect it in you. But the ultimate goal is to reflect it back in you. So I hope that really helps. You're placing your confidence in the wrong spot. And a lot of people do this. If you're in my trust bucket lesson, it's why I told you, you don't look for trust in the people that betrayed you. Right? It's the same thing. You don't look for money in the next like opportunity that seems like the big win. You just don't. You look for it. You look for the abundance feeling in yourself. You look for success and confidence in yourself. And if you don't know how to automatically find those, that's where I teach you to have the thoughts that align to the emotions, because they're probably not practiced. You're like, I've never felt confident. I don't feel confident, not just in money. You probably don't feel confident in other areas of your life, which is why this work is so empowering. When you clean it up in one area, you're going to clean it up in other areas. It's like the same way negative oozes, positive oozes. So I really admire you for trying to find it. You're definitely, like, a lot of people would just stay paralyzed in fear and not do anything. Like an indecision would be their decision because they're stuck in doubt and not enough, which is a block. You know, that's just a block. But when you are like, oh yeah, like I don't feel confident in my choices here, and I don't feel confident in my choices there. So I'm always finding I need to hear like I look good from my partner in order to feel good or whatever. Like, so if you're finding it in relationships and other areas, you got to do my Fear to Confidence course. It's inside that. It's inside. So it's part of the whole mindset coaching you get, and you'll start to see that where you're placing your confidence and how to find it back inside you. All right, everybody, any other questions? All right, then I'm going to now move the Q&A right now to the private experience. If you're in my coaching right now and you join, okay, I don't know if anyone just joined in, you're like, OMG, I'm in. Like if you're like new and you're like, I'm joining, whether it's just for 6 weeks or monthly. And if you start with one, you can bounce to the other. Just let me know. I'll always work with you guys if you want to, like, you know, if it feels like you need to upgrade from one to another. But if you're in my private group coaching right now, go right to the Zoom if you want to ask me some additional private Q&A. And where you find that, if you're brand new and you're just jumping in, okay, like if you're just jumping in, you're like, I don't know where this Zoom is, Laura St. John. And I'm like, well, I'm about to do a Zoom. Go right inside, to your private group coaching experience. And it's right on top. So when you're inside, it says live events this week. Okay. And then you just click on that live events this week. And it says like private Zoom. No, there we go. Private Zoom. So Thursday, October 24th, Money Blocks Workshop. This is the webinar jam we're in right now. But just any of these private Zooms will launch you to our Zoom room. That's for this private group coaching. So if you're in my private group coaching and you still have a half hour, jump right now to the Zoom. I can't wait to work with you on, like, just roll up our sleeves and get to work on like some of these very, very specific things. And if you didn't join and you want to join for like Monday, you know, jump in, because like start the Money Career Purpose course immediately. Jump in on Monday's lesson immediately. Jump in on our Q&As immediately. Like, do not hesitate and try it for 30 days. See if it literally creates the shifts that I believe you're ready to create, or you would not have been here. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being a part of the Strong Confident Living, movement. We are here to really show people that you can be an example of what's possible, especially for your family and loved ones. So thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Bye, everyone. I'll see you in my Zoom.